5 years ago, chef Michael Solomonov decided to open a modern Israeli restaurant in the Society Hill neighborhood of Philadelphia. Shortly after it opened its doors, it was recognized as Esquire's Top 20 Restaurants in America and Philadelphia Magazine's Best New Restaurant. Chef Solomonov was recognized by the James Beard Foundation as the Best Mid-Atlantic Chef in 2011. Solomonov returned to his native Israel when he was 19 and started his journey into the restaurant industry by getting a job at a bakery. At this time, he was able to experience Israeli cooking with Moroccan, Balkan, and Yemenite influences. Young Solomonov got his start in Philly by working for famous chefs such as Mark Vetri. When Vetri took him under his wing and made him his sous chef, something devastating happened. Solomonov's brother David was serving in the Israeli Defense Forces when he got killed 3 days before his tour was over. Solomonov took these powerful feelings of guilt, pain, hate, and rage and put them into his cooking. Although cooking has not gotten him over his brother's death, it connects him to the things he loves about Israel, its food, culture, people, and the land his brother died defending. Although tapas-style meals are traditionally Spanish, Solomonov's menu offers reinterpreted versions of classic Middle Eastern fare. The Israeli twist comes from spices including cumin, turmeric, black pepper, baharat, and cinnamon, to name a few. Because this is not your traditional family-style meal, Zahav's own pastry chef Marco Gagliardi invited me to the restaurant for a behind-the-scenes look at exploring Zahav's authentic specialty.
But mainly it's Israeli street food turned into modern cuisine.
Wednesday night, a couple of friends and I decided to experience Zahav firsthand. We went in for a late bite and walked in to find chefs tossing dough for laffa in the open kitchen and sang along throughout the meal to the current hip-hop and pop chart toppers. After we ate, Marco and I sat down for an interview where he told me about his future aspirations of becoming a successful restaurateur like Michael Solomonov.
I was always in the kitchen, baking with my mom, my great-grandmother. I'm Italian, so cooking is a big thing. Sunday dinners, and then before I came to Philadelphia, I started eating at Zahav, and that's when I saw Mike, and I saw him on the Food Network, and I just thought to myself, wow, I want to be just like that. I want to do everything that he does. I want to own restaurants, make food, and just make great atmosphere for people. My dad used to always talk about Mike like he was the biggest celebrity in the world. And I started taking boxing in Northern Liberties, and he actually was boxing at the same gym at the same time with a different trainer. So for about 2 weeks, I saw him train. And finally one day I was like, okay, I just got to go up to him. And I asked him, I said, hey, I got my co-op coming up. Do you think it would be a good thing for me to do my internship? It was funny because when I first approached him, I called him, I said, are you Mr. Solomonov? And he looked at me and he goes, yeah. And I was like, well, what's wrong with calling you that? And he goes, just call me Mike. It's really awkward when people call me Mr. Solomonov. And I said, okay. And then that's when we got to talking, and the rest is history. So.
When Marco finally got his co-op at Zahav, his dreams of following in Michael Solomonov's footsteps became a reality.
I've worked every job now at a restaurant. I used to be server, food runner, busser, host or hostess. And then, this is my first time in the kitchen. I started off not being in the kitchen at all on the co-op. I worked with his partner, Steve Cook, upstairs doing a lot of the business side, paperwork, management issues, meeting with architects for new projects, the whole shebang. And then one day I was in the office and Mike came up to me and he said, you want to be a chef, right? You want to be a restaurateur? I said, yeah. And he goes, okay, well, you're not going to get there unless you learn how to cook. So he looks at me, he throws me his jacket, throws me his shoes, and he's like, go in the kitchen, I'll meet you there in 5 minutes. And for me, it's like, oh, great. This is probably the best restaurant in the city, and he's telling me that I have to go in there and cook. And then so From there, I just started doing prep work during the day, doing paperwork and working, upstairs in the office and doing prep. And then the pastry chef left, one of them, and I got the opportunity, and so I started doing pastries. And now I'm working on the line as a cook, doing pastries. So it's pretty cool. My coworker gets in at about 8 in the morning, starts preparing a lot of things, baking cakes and bread. And then I'll come in probably at about 12 or 1. I'll start helping out, making the arugula cookies, the halva mousse, spinning ice cream, doing multiple things. Service starts at about 5, and then I get my station ready, and then probably because I do desserts, I'm the last thing that everybody eats, so I don't start until about an hour and a half into service, and then I'm actually the last one done. I usually don't end, so service will end at 11. I won't be done until 12:30 while everybody has been done for about an hour.
Marco then told me about Zahav's peanut baklava. Not only is this Marco's favorite item on the menu, but it is also the most difficult to prepare. The reason it's so difficult is because it uses phyllo dough.
4 more layers, another layer of peanuts, 4 more layers, and at the last layer it's probably 4 or 5 layers, depending, but it just takes forever. The phyllo dough breaks apart pretty easily. It's a pastry dough. It's in many forms. We use it for our peanut baklava, our kanafe, and we also use it for our beef cheek pastilla. It comes in different forms and it's very popular in the Middle East. Usually for desserts it's paired with honey and cinnamon and sugar.
21-year-old Marco is originally from San Jose, California. He is a junior at Drexel, majoring in entrepreneurship and minoring in culinary arts. When he is not in the kitchen at Zahav, he can be found scoring goals on the ice for Drexel's ice hockey team. Enjoying hanging out with friends, Marco has proved that when it is time to be serious, networking and hard work can open doors to fantastic opportunities.
So I'm learning a lot through Drexel's entrepreneurship program and everything that's given me. I think the key to my success would have to be working in the kitchen and in the business side with Mike and Steve, and at Zahav. I think there's real world experience, and they do exactly what I want to do as restaurateurs, and I don't think I would be anywhere close to what I want to be unless it's for them.
As you can see, Drexel's co-op program has allowed Marco to work in one of the best restaurants in Philadelphia, getting hands-on practice with award-winning chefs who are also self-made business owners. The use of global influences from Salamana's heritage inspired Marco to get in touch with his own cultural roots from southern Italy.
Well, I love what Mike has done by bringing Israeli food and experience and culture to Philadelphia, into his cooking and into his restaurants. And I think by the time I'm 24, I want to do the same thing, but with Italian food, specifically Southern Italian food. And I think I want to learn just from what Mike has done and put it into what I want to do.